Good, beautiful morning. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And I want to talk a bit about today about how to connect with your guides and have a group of entities with me that call themselves the Divine Collective, which is a collective of ascended masters and other enlightened beings that collectively work together to offer us information about the truth in creation. We have a world around us that we see with our five physical senses. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We have a world of five physical senses that we see all around us all the time. We hear it, we smell it, we touch it, we taste it. And it's only one part of a spectrum of consciousness that's available to all of us. And we're going to get into that a little bit further. But around you, there's also these invisible realms of thought, of emotion. There are light waves, frequencies of energy that you are not even aware of. Science has developed instruments that can tune into these frequencies, and science is discovering new frequencies and new levels of these energies that are around us. Yet inside your own body and inside your own mind, there is the capacity to teach your awareness to tune into these different frequencies. You can literally train your body and your mind to perceive different frequencies of energy. For my patrons, I just want to make a quick announcement for you guys. Tomorrow night's patrons only live event is going to be called Transcending Inherited Emotions and Thoughts. That's Transcending Inherited Emotions and Thoughts. And that's going to be, I'm going to be channeling Master Jesus tomorrow evening. He's saying, this is just another way of saying forgiveness, learning how to let go. So that's going to be tomorrow night for my patrons. You'll receive the link for the event on Zoom later today. And I want to thank my patrons for their support. Yes, we're at a very, very important time in human evolution. Remember, the body that you call human is not the only source of your consciousness. It is just one small facet of your being. The flesh is just one small facet. The larger part of yourself, you cannot even see or hear. The larger part of yourself, you cannot see and you cannot hear. And yet you are aware of it all the time. You are aware of your thoughts. You are aware of your emotions. You do not see anybody else's thoughts or anybody else's emotions, but they have them too, and they are aware of them. They exist, your thoughts, they exist. So do your emotions, they exist. Both of these elements of your consciousness can affect the condition of your body and your material world, and do so all the time. In fact, there's no behavior in your expression that is not affected and generated by the nature and quality of your thoughts and your emotions. But this other element of yourself, your awareness, that aspect of you that allows you to be aware of your thoughts, to be aware of your emotions, to be aware of your body and the things that it senses. This you, this awareness, has the capacity to tune into other frequencies of consciousness, other dimensional realms. Around you, there are beings that resonate with you on a soul level. There are beings in your physical world that resonate with you on a physical level, on a level of thought, on a level of emotion. But there are also beings that will resonate with you on the level of your soul. The level of your soul. And you can learn to see through your soul, to hear through your soul, to know through your soul in a fashion different than you know through your eyes or your ears or your touch. This realm of perception that moves beyond its limits of the senses allows you to tap into and tune into what you would call your guides or your angels or your gods, whatever you will choose to call them. There is a spectrum of consciousness that you can perceive with your awareness that is not readily available to your five physical senses. And so you may find yourself wanting to be guided, to be assisted, to be helped, and seem to be unable to find it in this physical dimension because it is not necessarily in this physical dimension that you can receive the assistance you need while you're in the physical dimension, but you can indeed receive guidance from your guides, your angels, other multidimensional beings, other spiritual entities that exist in this dimension at a slightly different frequency than you can perceive with your senses. And so if you have a challenge or a problem that you're facing, that you cannot find the answer in a book or a person or a thing in this world, then we would encourage you to look not with your eyes of your head or listen with the ears of your body, but to simply sense and feel the response to your question. You can ask a question and feel an energetic response to the question that does not come from your memory, that does not come from your emotions, that does not come from this world, but you can sense and feel it. You can train your awareness to become aware of the presence of your guides, your angels, these other multi-dimensional beings that can interact with your soul, with your awareness, which is not, by the way, your awareness is not bound by flesh and matter alone, although you can clearly experience flesh and matter as seemingly more real. But there are many of you, especially in this time of ascension, which is an elevation of your soul energy. During this time of ascension, some of you feel that your emotions are more real than the things of this world, or that your thoughts are more real than the things of this world. That is because all of these things are at your disposal. But there's also this other realm of information and guidance that is beyond your thoughts, beyond your emotions, beyond your body, that you may access and receive what you may need in the form of answers or inclinations that would allow you to change the course of your life in a very simple and wonderful way. Learning how to hear without ears, learning how to see without eyes. In your Eastern mysticism, they call this process opening of your third eye, which is essentially an organ in your body that is known as the pineal gland. And that organ can be stimulated, exercised, the same way you can exercise a hand or an arm or a leg or your eyes or a muscle. You can learn to exercise this organ inside your physical brain and open up other realms of perception, which many of you do artificially. We've watched how many of you will temporarily and artificially stimulate that gland into action through certain chemical substances. But having not developed your own ability to stimulate that organ to function independent of artificial stimulation, you find yourself having to go back to that substance to re-stimulate that awareness that expands your consciousness beyond what you normally experience. But we would say to you right now that this can be done without artificial substance, that it is literally like a muscle in the body that you can learn to exercise this gland. When this gland becomes active, when you learn to use this, you open your third eye. Your level of perception shifts from the five physical sensory world into the multi-dimensional sensorial realm of consciousness, where you can begin to perceive and see and know vastly more than your five physical senses can afford you the opportunity to comprehend, but which you as awareness, recognizing your independence of thought, recognizing your independence of emotion, recognizing your independence of matter, that you can then begin to explore through that organ the sights that are not of the eyes, the feelings that are not of the body, the wealth of limitless information available to you from beings are significantly more awake to these other realms of consciousness. You will arrive there eventually. Each of you will eventually arrive at that place where you're no longer dependent on the five sensory world alone for the information and creation that you're here to affect while you're in this experience. But we are with you in every moment. Whenever you ask for assistance or guidance, it is provided instantly. But your inability to perceive that which is offered to you is not because of any fault or flaw on your part, but simply the fact that you are lacking the training of how to utilize these other senses, which all of you possess in different measure, degree, and intensity. The degree and measure and intensity of these other senses that we will give the name clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance to, that is to see, to hear, to feel, to know. That there are senses that allow you to see, to hear, to feel, and to know that are not based in the body, but based in your awareness of them. And that when these senses are opened, you can begin to perceive our presence with you, and those that work with you, those aspiring to work with you, those desiring to work with and through you. There is a vibrational state of consciousness that you must understand that operates in a perspective that we call high and low, which you may also call love and fear. That it is important you understand that you have the ability to alter and change your vibrational state, which in turn alters and changes what you will see, what you will hear, what you will know, and what you will feel. If you are in a state of energetic frequency that is high and expanded and excited and playful and enthusiastic, you will receive very different guidance than if you're in a state of anger or despair or fear, both of which can be changed easily once you understand the distinction between your emotions and your awareness and your ability to alter and change the frequency of emotion. Your ability to understand that you can change the frequency of emotion in your body as an act of your deliberate consciousness interacting with it differently than what you may currently know. Understand. When you understand this, you will no longer be subjective to thought, no longer subjective to emotion, no longer subjective to body exclusively, as you will then have the awareness that you are not bound by them, but that they are subservient and subjective to your direction. But you must come to that awareness to know the truth of this. For if you are in an emotion and you believe you are the emotion, it is very difficult because you are now inside. But the moment you say, where is this emotion coming from? You step outside. And the minute you step outside, you move to a position of awareness that affords you the opportunity to begin to distinguish yourself from the subjectivity of being just a physical body or a collection of thoughts or a series of emotions. That you have a place in your awareness that allows you to stand observant of these things, and that at that same time you may also become observant of information and ideas beyond that which is in your mind and in your body. We are around you, whether you are aware of it or not, and many others too. You have this conception about death and life that grossly restricts your ability to know anything more than what you know. This conception of death is the greatest illusion that you must overcome. That physical forms are finite and transitory, and transformed is a reality, that your physical body is going through a process of transformation and change that you get to experience, but that you yourself are not the flesh, but experiencing what the flesh does as it evolves. You gain experience, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom in this physical dimension. And hopefully you learn to make the distinction between what you are and what you are not in this process, where you can then begin to liberate your awareness from death. You can liberate your awareness from thought. You can liberate your awareness from emotion, that is the subjectivity to them, so that when they change or they alter, you are not disturbed. You just recognize that there is a change. And then eventually you come to the realization that you are the orchestrator of change in that body, over those emotions, over those thoughts. And for those of you that are experiencing these energies where you are feeling more anxious and uncomfortable, understand that the anxiousness and the discomfort do not accurately define who you are, but are simply representations of experiences that are not in vibrational resonance with you. Your capacity to alter and change vibrational frequency from the perspective of your soul is unquestionable when you achieve that point of awareness, that you can change a thought and that you can change an emotional frequency. When you come to that awareness, you begin to garner a state or condition of freedom to create, to be, to exist, to do as a matter of creation and not a matter of chance. When we came to this one today, we brought with us a great energy, and he felt great discomfort. He was feeling a little anxious because there was this new awareness that he had called forth to share. And so when you are faced with experiences that are outside of what you are familiar with, your mind and your body will be only able to react at the level of their consciousness, whereas you as awareness are able to transcend subjectivity to them. Now, how do you get to this place where you can hear us and know us and experience our presence with you? You need to open up these other senses. Some of you have them open and they're wide open. You do not understand how to use them, and you find yourself overwhelmed, or what you call highly empathic and highly emotional, because you do not understand that you have a strong sense of clairsentience where you can feel many things. But like a body that was first learning to be walked as a child, it stumbles and falls. But eventually, if you understand the process of walking, you learn to walk. If you understand the process of how to use your awareness to utilize emotional energy, to utilize thought as mechanisms of creating, then you will gain the experience that these emotions you have are not going to harm you or kill you. They're energies that you are acquiring to learn how to utilize for the purpose of creation, the purpose of manifesting. Emotion organizes your conditions of this physical world. That's what emotion does. When you extend yourself beyond your five physical senses and you begin to consider and contemplate this sense of who you are, and you want to open up these other senses of clairvoyance, you want to see, you want to hear, you want to know, you want to feel. And then learning how to utilize what you see, what you hear, what you know, and what you feel to open those senses up. There are fundamental, simple steps in that learning process that you can discover how to see with no eyes, and to hear without ears, to know without any apparent means of direct knowing. Without knowing, you can know. Without knowing in your mind or body, you can know. Without having an immediate perception and feeling, you can sense or feel things that are beyond what your body and your mind can feel. Even the function of your body perceiving energy between the hands, where you can feel the energy between your hands, that is extending your awareness beyond the physical perceptual elements to the actual energy that the body can be trained to tune into. Yes, you can learn to tune your hearing to physically hear us, tune your eyes to physically see us, tune your knowing to directly know what we are sharing with you. But there is a process that must be cultivated. As you learn to walk as a child, or you learn to do certain things in your physical world, so too you must learn to do these things. It is not that difficult once you understand and experience the process. And that is the key. When you begin to experience the process for yourself, not hear it spoken to you like this, but to experience it directly, where you are interacting with knowing, you're interacting with energy, you're interacting with non-physical sight, and you begin to gain an opening of these other senses, which correspond in their function to your physical senses of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Through this one, we offer methods and mechanisms for learning to cultivate your awareness of us and our presence with you in your world, to understand that you can heal your body. You can transform your emotional energy. There are some of you that are so overwhelmed with emotional energy, you do not realize how powerful you truly are, because you do not understand how to utilize that energy as a function of creating. And so you find yourself overwhelmed with all this energy, much like the sculptor being poured a bunch of clay on top of his hands and he cannot carry it. You can only take a bit at a time, but there's a process you can learn that will allow you to articulate your ability to assert authority over energy, which is emotion, authority over your mind. When we came to this one, we said we would make it very clear that these are not difficult things, although you experience them thusly when you have no knowledge of how to utilize them. But to learn to see with our eyes, to hear with our ears, to know, to feel, without necessarily the sense of physical perception, and you come to know this, you become free. You become liberated when you understand you are an awareness manifested into flesh, to learn to utilize the substance of thought, matter, and energy in a process of creation over an infinite spectrum of time and space, both linear and non-linear time and space. That is, the perceivable realm of the senses and the imperceptible realm of the non-physical dimensions that are infinitely connected to all points of time and space, as are these ones. We encourage you to look for those schools, those places where you can learn to understand that your thoughts and your emotions are not the source of your identity, that your historical experiences are simply that, memories, information that can be altered and changed by your awareness in any moment. You are not here to be subjective to your thoughts, nor to your emotions. They are there to be subjective and utilized by you as awareness. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that super chat, Sophia. I really appreciate it. Question from Sophia. my colleague is having a recurrence of hairy cell leukemia. How can she recover, and how can I help heal her? Much gratitude. It's funny, I got this being Hermes coming in. It's not, you cannot heal her. You can induce a change in the energy. Must understand that the frequency, the vibration of this condition is a different frequency. It is bound by the emotions which she predominantly holds. If she is able to change the emotion in the system will begin to alter and change in response. It's when you get excited and happy, does your body not react in a certain way? You must understand that it is the foundation of how you utilize emotional energy that is most effective in instilling the process of generating healing. What you call healing is an effect of an emotional process, as disease is the effect of an emotional process. Yes, you may have external chemistry and external events that can cause trauma or toxicity to the body, but ultimately emotional energy will reorganize all matter. At this stage in human evolution, this information is only at its very primitive starting point. You're only beginning to understand that emotion does organize your flesh, even to the subatomic particles in that body. Encourage this one to rise up in joy, to bring her joy into her blood, to offer the vibration of joy to every cell and molecule of her body. Encourage her to do this. Encourage her to be this. Emotion organizes behavioral expression in this physical dimension. There is not one emotion that a human can experience that will not cause some degree of effect in the conditions of matter. So we encourage that beautiful soul to engage in her joy so fully and completely, and impart that vibration of joy into every cell, every molecule of her body, to do so with great diligence and zest, and observe what happens. She will feel the difference, and there will be a measurable difference. It will be very clear, very distinct, and very easily understood. Only through your experience can you know the truth, but if you defer your learning experience to hoping that someone else will provide you with the learning that you must acquire, well, you will find yourself dependent on something else, an artificial substance or a pill or a drug as a sole mechanism for learning to regulate your chemistry, which you do all the time anyway. You can alter and change the chemical structure of your body, even with the way you utilize emotional energy. It's a wonderful question. Question from Tanya. I've been feeling out of breath a little, needing to take deep breaths lately. Is this energy? I have asked Source for downloads and high codes, so not sure if it's related to that. Tanya, make sure you're drinking enough water and contemplate the joy of your heart. I don't know who's saying this or why. They're just saying contemplate the joy in your heart. Yes. When you have brought this joy into your heart, breathe from deep within. Do not breathe from up here. Breathe from deep within, deep down. Let the lower portion of that body's lungs train it to draw the energy in there. Bring the breath up as you contemplate and focus the joy in your heart. you will find that your breathing will become quite delightful in joy, as do all things become delightful in joy, do they not? Good morning. Question from Olena. What is this process to use energy to create? This is a great question, Olena. It is very simple if you understand the nature of your awareness, and that where you place your attention, you actually direct a flow of creative energy. Where you place your attention, you direct a flow of creative energy. And that flow of creative energy can be what you would call negative or positive, good or bad. It can be love or fear. The nature and quality of your awareness, what you are giving attention to, determines the energy that you will manifest. If you're putting your attention on the deliciousness of life and how wonderful and beautiful existence is, and you are there, you will begin to experience that energy. That is the simplest way, but we offer work through this one in the form of teachings and many beings that come through him that will help you on that journey. You may consider looking into that as well. Yes, I know. They're referring to the courses and classes that we offer. You can go to my website, Elena. Well, I think you're actually registered already for one of our programs. But you can go to our website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out some of the courses and classes that we offer there for learning to open up your clairs, open up your senses, and literally shift and change your consciousness. You know, it's they always say to me over and over again, emotions are the energy we use to alter the conditions of time, space, and matter. It's through emotion that we do this. Yeah. Sorry, I want to go back to Tanya. I'm just being told to tell you one other thing. Leave the past behind you. Tanya, there's something, leave that past behind you. The one that's in your heart, let it go. Let the past go. Thank you. Question from Vertical. There was a deep-seated burning in my chest for more than a week. After treating it with Japanese oil, it returned several times thereafter, but did too strong of a toxic or strong AC cause it? Please understand, humanity is at this place now where it is out of control with its energy. The shift in polarity between fear and love is very rapid on your collective consciousness right now, where you are going hither and thither, back and forth, not aware that you are the cause of these effects. The moment you understand that the nature of emotional energy is what causes your conditions in the way you express in this physical world, the decisions you do or not do, the things you say or do not say, the experiences you have or do not have are connected to your use of energy. And the energy of fear and the energy of love create very different experiences. The energies of love and fear will cause you to do things very differently. They will cause you to say things very differently. They will cause your leaders to make certain policies and procedures if they are guided by love or fear. And it is fairly easy to know the distinction between love and fear, for love is that which promotes well-being and goodness, whereas fear tends to promote more suffering and difficulty. So you can learn very easily what energy you are using by your condition. If you are suffering, you're probably using more fear than you are more love. And we would simply say the easiest way to open yourself up to these changes is to align yourself to love within yourself. Do not seek it outside yourself. Generate it, create it within you, and then offer it to those around you. Love is a vibration that organizes matter, including the structures in your body, very differently than the vibrational energies of fear. Got time for one more question? Yes. Hello from South Africa. Hi, Alison. Yeah, we are at a very powerful time. I'm honored and privileged to be able to bring these messages to you guys every week, 3 times a week, and we do the meditation on Saturday. This upcoming Friday, I've got the Galactic Federation, and the subject is to be listen closely. That's going to be this Friday on Shortcuts to Your Soul at 10 a.m. For those of you that are really interested in connecting to your guides, your angels, ascended masters, other multidimensional beings, your fairies, the other elementals that are on this physical dimension that are around us all the time, we just have to learn to change our perception, our conscious awareness to perceive different bandwidths of frequency. And you can do that. But you want to know more, learn how to do that, come to our Mediumship Program, Masterclasses 101, 102, 103, and 104. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check it out. I want to remind my patrons again today, we got our patrons only live event tomorrow at 7 p.m. and it's called Transcending Inherited Emotions and Thoughts. And I'll be channeling Master Jesus, and he says that's about forgiveness. Transcending inherited emotions and thoughts. And I want to thank all of you that support this channel. I want to thank all my patrons as well. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with other people. Humanity really needs to know that we are powerful creators. Powerful creators. You have within you an infinite intelligence. You have within that body that you're in right now, there's an infinite intelligence that knows more than any doctor, politician, religious leader, scientist, even you. It knows way more. Some people call it God, some people call it divinity. Doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it Ed for all I care. But this intelligence knows how to build bodies. It knows how to create and innovate. It knows how to inspire. Learn how to get in touch with that consciousness inside you. Our courses and programs will assist you to do that. It will change your life. It'll change your physical well-being. It'll improve everything. And I just want to encourage you to go sign up today. Don't waste any time. Our Wondership Masterclass begins on Saturday of this week. So go sign up for that. Don't waste your time in doing things the old way. Learn something new to change your life to something renewed. I want to thank the Divine Collective for being present with us today. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you as well for being present. And I will see all of you on Friday. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. Bye for now.